There are people out there in the vast expansion of social media that you are gifted, talented, and called to reach. There's a scripture verse in Matthew chapter 4 where Jesus walks up to two individuals who are young entrepreneurs, and he says to them, I want you to leave your job. I want you to leave what you're doing because I'm going to make you fishers of men. In other words, instead of you being a fisherman by trade, I'm going to take your gift and talent of learning how to hook people, learn how to hook fish in this case, learning how to fish. I'm going to take that talent and I'm going to use that for a greater purpose. So this is my message for content creators. This digital vast sea that we're in of social media, AI, is filled with people from all walks of life. There are people who are dealing with divorce. There are people who are dealing with low self-esteem. There are people who are struggling with trying to find their purpose in life. There's so many things that people are going through, and they're scrolling through social media, trying to find themselves. You have a message, you have a voice, you have something that you want to give, but you got to navigate through the sea of all that's happening with social media. And persons have to navigate through all of that in order to find your voice. Until you align your calling and purpose in life with the needs of those who are searching through the sea, until your voice connects with their need, your efforts are going to be in vain, right? If you just use some creativity to think with me here. Imagine the digital sea as people who are distracted by life. They have a lot of things going on. Why should they stop and listen to you? This is the question that I want you to ask yourself, because when you ask yourself this question, you are being honest about why you're creating the content that you're creating. Is you not just creating content, but be very intentional about why you are creating content and what is its purpose and how is it going to help those who are searching through and navigating through the seas of life. And I would dare to say to you that you have the solution, and that's what it's all about. We're about changing lives. We're about making the world a better place. So if we're creating content, the end goal is we want to impact people, and this far precedes monetary exchange. So what Jesus says is this. He told the disciples that I want you, first and foremost, watch this, to cast your net. When we talk about casting our net, metaphor, what message are you casting? What information are you putting out? What is it that you're sharing that's going to answer the problems that people have? I remember when I was fishing, there were certain kinds of bait I had to use in order to get certain types of fish. That God has given you something to do. He's giving you a specific calling, a specific person. This is your net that God has given you to reach people. And that net can be integrity. That net can be vulnerability. That net could be authenticity. The problem is we are trying to be like every other content creator we see on YouTube or any of these other platforms. By doing that, we are abandoning the authenticity, the net that we have innately, internally, that people are attracted to. But you have to realize that your net is attached to your message. Get that? Your net is attached to your message. In other words, specific way that you're going to attract people is tied to who you are authentically. And until you realize that truth, you're going to begin chasing other people. So the goal is to get you back into the right direction. So let's talk about who are you as a person? What experiences have you gone through? What are your likes and dislikes? What experiences do you have that other content creators do not have? This is the key to understanding the power of your voice, what it is you have to share. What's the power of your story? Places that you grew up in, towns that you grew up in that other people have no clue about. So it's all about understanding what kind of net are you casting, because the net you're casting is the message you are promoting. What is it you're trying to do? Who are you trying to reach, and why are you trying to reach these individuals? Vitally important. Number two, you have to understand the fish. Jesus says, I will make you a fisher of men. But in order for you to be a fisher of men, you have to know what men and women are dealing with. So what are the issues at hand? This is essential to understanding content creation. Now, some people, I'll be honest with you, some people talk about niching down. Niching down has always been a problem for me. So because I am more focused on myself as an individual and the message that I have to present. But the disconnect comes when I have a message, but that message may not be directed in the right capacity. So I can have energy, but that energy can be misused if you're not putting it toward the people that you're willing, enabled, and called to affect. So then the question becomes, do you know your fish? Do you know the people that you are called to reach? Do you know the people that you are destined to speak to? Do you know their issues? Do you know that people are dealing with divorce and why? Do you know that people are dealing with low self-esteem? Do you understand the intricate details of why people are facing these circumstances and situations, and how your message can solve their problem, or at least move them closer toward the place that they want to be? So you have to understand their struggles. You have to understand loneliness, their loneliness. You have to understand the things that they are going through. These are critical messages that you need to understand in order to catch the people, in order to reach the people that you are called to reach. And this goes far beyond monetary exchange. This is you connecting with a people that you are destined to connect with. And here's another important factor about this. When you connect with the people that you are destined to connect with, it also helps you to create content. So it becomes an equal exchange, a give and take. As you create content and give, people give back to you by saying, yes, I identify with your message. Yes, it makes sense to me. Yes, this is what I need to hear. So number one, again, we talked about understanding that you have a purpose and a calling, that there's a vast ocean out there. And if you can't just throw your net anywhere, but there are particular people that you are destined to reach and speak to. Number two, you got to understand your fish. You got to understand what people are going through. Very, very important. Number three, your message has to be created with intentionality. Here's what I mean by intentionality. If you haven't heard anything else, if you haven't tracked with anything else I've said, if you have listened to nothing I've said to this point, you must listen to this. You must be intentional about the message you're putting out, because people can sense, they can feel, even through video, even through audio, even through podcasting, what it is I'm saying. It's the immaterial, energetic connection we have with other people. People can sense that. If you are unreal, people can sense that. If you're trying to be someone that you're not, if you're trying to be an imposter, people can sense that. So the question is, who are you? What gifts and talents do you have? What has life offered you? What are your down experiences, and what experiences have you gone through that's taught you something about life and everything life has to offer? Both the good and the bad. This is what I mean by being intentional. If you focus on who you are and focus on what you have to offer and be true to yourself, be true to who you are, be true to your mistakes, be vulnerable to who you are as an individual, you have a better chance of connecting with people. Because here's the truth. Casting the net is all about creating community. It's about connecting with people and building a community that you can help them navigate through the challenges of life. This is what I mean by why content creation for a Christian in particular is far beyond monetary exchange. It's far beyond likes. I'm talking about creating a community, creating a group of people who there's equal exchange, value exchange that happens between the both of you, that you walk through the good and bad together. This is what I mean by understanding that the content that you provide is for a select group of people that can only hear your voice. And that does one or two things for you. Number one, it keeps you from trying to be someone else. Like, you can look at YouTube videos and that's all good, but not every video is for you. Not every lesson is for you. It doesn't fit who you are or your message. And then number two, it makes you more intentional. It helps you to focus your direction and focus your energy on the things that are pertinent for you, on the things that help you reach your mission. All I'm simply trying to say is this, is that your personality, your experiences is your bait. You hear me right? Your personality, your experiences, the things you've gone through, that's your bait. That's the hook that will bring people into your community, that can help you build community, that will help make the world a better place. Now, I know I may be euphoric in this belief system, believing in some kind of like utopia viewpoint about the world. But the truth is this, JFK said, evil persists in the world when good people do nothing. And what I'm saying is that while you're sitting down contemplating whether or not you should create the content, there are people who need to hear from you. They will only hear from you. They were called and destined. You were put on this planet at this time in life because you have a message to say. And your message may reach a certain group of people that I could never reach. That someone with some of these other large social media platforms, Mr. Beast and some of these other people, they could never reach them because they were never called to reach them. They were never gifted to reach them. So this is what I mean when I say that, be yourself, understanding how your experiences will fuel your content creation, particularly if you're a person who are watching this and you're a believer. God has a purpose and a calling for your life, and you have to use all of that as a resource to help you create the content. So what am I saying? Number one, I'm saying understand that there's a vast ocean, that you can't just throw your net out anywhere, because there's certain fish you're going to throw back. It's not going to be what you wanted, won't provide you the nutrition that you need. It's of no use to you, and you are of no use to them. Number two, you have to know your fish. You got to know what people are going through, because that's going to help you craft your message. Most importantly, you got to be intentional, right? As you go about being intentional, meaning you have to be yourself. This goes far beyond monetary value. This is deep creation content. That's what this video is all about. So if you're out there and you want to create content that goes far beyond surface level, it goes far beyond just this superficiality of content creation only for likes and only to get YouTube views. And I get that, and I understand that as a content creator, as a person on YouTube myself. But I have a calling and a purpose, and my calling and a purpose came way before YouTube was even created. So I want you to get busy about doing your thing, being your person, reaching your audience, because that's how you're gonna make the world a better place. So don't hold back in creating content. And I promise you, when you do this, you're gonna make the world a better place. You're gonna reach the people you were destined to reach, and the people that was destined to hear you, lives will be better as a result. Go ahead on and put a comment down below if this added value to you. Go ahead and like the video right here. If you wanna keep watching, you can subscribe right here. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.